I think we're ready.
Is it rolling?
Yeah.
This is a good time to talk about my evil plan to take over the world.
I don't know if I can take over the world with you.
It starts with rounding up all the sweets, Little Debbie's, suckers, candy, and depriving everyone else.
Can I have some of your... Oh, I sat down so close. I'm sorry. Can I have some of your water?
Yeah. And then after that, I'm not really interested in money or robbing banks, but I will rob every pizza joint from here to Wisconsin. And I'll hold them up and say, look, I need free pizza and breadsticks. And if not, I'm going to come back here. And when I come back, well, I don't know. But I have a plan when I come back to do something mean if you don't share the breadsticks and the pizza.
I think that's a plan that I can get behind.
Actually, for real, I'm not exactly sure the quality of Pizza Hut, but their breadsticks used to be so good.
I know.
I used to love their breadsticks. Okay, today we're going to do a Q&A. Thank you for everyone who dropped questions. I've got my computer here and we're just going to go down the line and we're going to just like rapid fire answer as many as we can. Because we got to go get back to the babies.
Yeah.
Any minute now, mine's going to start screaming. I know he is.
Oh, yeah. We enjoy doing these videos, and it's been a while since we did a Q&A. I know I'm like, should I sit up more? I hope I'm not out of frame.
I have horrible posture.
I do too. Yeah, it's been a while since we've done one of these, so this will be fun, and we thank everyone for submitting questions, and we know we're always getting new people on the channel, so it's good to do these. Yeah. So, okay, we're just going to go straight down the line. What are your favorite style? I'm not editing this video, so just
what are your favorite style of videos to film? Cooking, day in the life, etc.
And this is from Our Small Town Life. She's a sweet gal. She has a channel too, so we will put her channel in the link in the description. So check that out.
You know something? That's a really interesting question because I would say there's favorite videos that, you know, I would have a favorite video that I like to film and then my favorite videos to edit. Those are two different things. Some of them are easier to edit. Some of them are easier to film. I guess they're all easy to film, but as far as my favorite to film, I probably like either the lives or the question and answer maybe. I mean, I like those because I feel like it's an interaction. I like filming the day in the life too because it's fun to feel like I kind of have company the whole day no matter what I'm doing, even if I'm by myself, you know, like filming, I feel like I have company. But as far as my favorite to do, like edit-wise, it's question and answer and probably the live because there is no edit on that.
It's the easiest.
But day in the life ones, those are the hardest ones to edit. So
yeah, day in the life is usually anything that's got lots of different pieces and different clips. That's the hardest to edit. There's different things I like about filming them all. I love to film the devotionals. I just love the creative aspect. That's my favorite thing, is just coming up with an idea and then filming it and then figuring out how I can edit it. That's probably the funnest part, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
What is your favorite Bible verse as a mom, favorite food or meal or dessert, and favorite trip you've been on, places you visited?
My favorite Bible verse as a mom would probably be... I don't know.
Good ones.
Yeah, I know. There's just so many good ones, but it seems like I repeat. That's the same one I mentioned the other day. What did I say? Psalm 37. Seems like I repeat that one.
37:5.
37:5. Yep.
Commit thy way unto the Lord, trust also in Him, and He shall bring it to pass.
Yep. I feel like I quote that a lot to myself as a mom because I'm like, how am I going to get this done, Lord? How am I going to do all these things, you know, concerning Ira and his well-being? And I feel like every time I repeat that, I remember, okay, God has not only my best interest, but Ira's best interest in mine. And as much as I love Ira, God loves him more. So if I just say, God, I'm going to commit what I need to do to you and for you and let you do it, then you're going to bring it to pass because you tell me all throughout the Bible that you're here to help me. So I like that one. Favorite food / meal or dessert? I love cobblers. Any kind of fruit pie, cobbler kind of thing for dessert. That's really good. Food, like favorite meal. I would never say pizza is my favorite, but I'm saying that right now because I can't eat pizza. I'm not doing dairy because Ira has a dairy allergy, but I also really love deer meat, and I've ate deer meat twice today. So
I do love deer meat.
And then favorite trip or places. I love going to the beach. I absolutely adore to go on a trip to go to the beach, but I also loved some of my trips out west. Oregon was a beautiful, beautiful state, and I'll always hold dear my time there. So, all right, what about you?
Oh man, favorite Bible verse. That's hard to say because there's so many as a mom, but I like Psalms 37. I like Psalms 139, that whole scripture. I've talked about that a lot in my recent videos, and just there's a part in it that says, you know, that basically God's thoughts are endless. His thoughts about us are endless, that they're more than the sand. And the Psalms, it says, when I wake, I'm still with thee. And I just think that's really sweet. And I think of that as, you know, that's how much God loves us. That's how much he loves Woody. And so if I'm worried about something, I remember, well, you know, God loves Woody so much, he's got this. I try to remember that. Favorite food or meal and dessert? I love deer meat. I love meat in three. Meat, vegetables, some kind of bread is probably my favorite. Potatoes.
I've ate potatoes like twice a day too. So.
Yeah, and I love eggs. Dessert, I'm like you. I love any kind of fruit. Now, if it's a really good, like, homemade cake, I would like that. Favorite trip or places you visited? Oh, man.
You like going to the beach too?
Ow. That's another.
Of course, you got itchy boo-boos.
Apparently. Oh, man, I love going to the beach. I'm trying to think, though, like, other favorite trips, places I've been. I don't know. I just have to say the beach right now. I can't think of anything else.
I will say dessert, something I love, but Corey hates. I love chocolate. So good, fresh, like, moist, sticky brownies. Ooh, I love that. But Corey doesn't like that.
I like chocolate, but not if it's been baked. Once it's been cooked, I don't like it, and I don't like it if it's like chocolate ice cream. I only like it in candy.
But would you eat like Rocky Road ice cream?
Probably not, no.
No. Wow.
No.
No chocolate chip ice cream?
No.
Really?
No, I don't like that. Now, I've had ice cream that had like Reese's Pieces in it. I liked that.
Oh, yeah, something like that, or like a Blizzard or something with
Maybe.
like Snickerdoodles or whatever that is. That ain't right.
You mean Snickers.
Snickerdoodles
is cookies. Okay, moving on. How is Olive adjusting to her new baby brother? What milestone? I'm not editing this.
What milestone has Ira accomplished so far?
Olive is doing great. She loves him. It's sweet. If I'm feeding him in the bedroom, feeding him a bottle, she likes to come back there. So she's done really good.
She does do good with the boys. As far as milestones, Ira's probably biggest milestone that he's accomplished in the last several weeks is he can roll over now, and he is trying his best to crawl.
He's gonna be on the move.
It's kind of scary. I think he's pretty young to be trying to crawl, but he is, and he can definitely roll over. So it's one of those things you can't really leave the room anymore and think he's just gonna play on the play mat. You got to watch him.
Absolutely. All right. Did we share a bedroom when we were growing up?
Yes.
Yeah. Until we were maybe 16.
16 or 17, and then Christmas Eve night, that was our Christmas present. Christmas Eve night, do you remember that? The rooms got finished, and I spent that Christmas Eve night in a on the floor on a mattress, because Mom and Dad said, why don't you wait till we go buy a bed frame after the holidays? And I said, no, I want it now. So I slept on the floor. But we did share a room for many years, and then when Corey moved, she only moved one room over, so we could still like hear through the wall.
We had bunk beds until we were like 15. That's a little bit old, crawling up on the ceiling at 15.
Yeah.
It was sweet, though. I liked that. Have we been able to babysit each other's babies? I babysat Ira while I was still pregnant, just for a short time.
Sometimes, like, we can swap over, but as far as, like, Corey's not taking, like, Ira down to her house and me leave yet, or vice versa.
Yeah, I'm sure we will at some point, though.
Yeah, I think they just got to get a little bit bigger for that. Ira's a very picky baby, too, so I walk out of the room and he cries, so that would be kind of hard.
Someone's asking about what instrument we'll teach our sons to play, and how are we adjusting to the new rhythm of life.
You know, I played my fiddle not that long ago for Ira, and I'm not sure if it's because he was actually pretty already tired, cruising for a meltdown when I played it, but I thought he liked it for a minute, and then he started crying, so I'm not really sure. If I was going to teach him something, I don't know if I'm going to teach him that, if I would teach him the guitar, if I'd just wait till he got older and could show me if he had interest. I don't know.
I don't know, because in one way I would say, guitar, because I feel like it's the easiest to learn. But when kids are young, they can learn so well and so fast that maybe it would be good to pick a hard instrument.
Yeah, harder when they're younger like that. I don't know.
Maybe something like that. Did I answer all of that question? How are we adjusting to the new rhythm of life? I would say it's good. It's an adjustment, but it's more than good. It's wonderful. I feel like this is what I was made for all my life before Woody seems.
I'd say that too. I'd say it was kind of tricky at first, but I feel like I'm settling into a pretty good rhythm, and now it's a lot easier than it was.
Oh yeah, it just gets easier all the time. I mean, you just get used to them. You learn more about them.
Yeah.
What's something that all of us have in common, and what's something that we love doing together as a family?
I would say music. I mean,
all of us have the same kind of taste in music.
Yeah, we all appreciate the same music, and I think we all appreciate the same cooking. We all kind of like the same food.
Food and music.
And as far as like entertainment, TV shows, what we all want to watch.
That's what I was
I'm just thinking of things we do together. I'm
Yeah.
like, we eat together, we watch TV together, we listen to music together. And we like to go to the same places. Like, I think we would all like to go to the beach. Dad might not like to go to the beach as much because Dad can't stand the heat.
He hates the heat.
So
But we like to all go, like, my ideal thing of a family is if we all went fishing somewhere and had a picnic. Like,
yeah, we would all like that.
that would be awesome.
So, yeah, I mean, I think our tastes, a lot of stuff we have in common. I think we're all homebodies. We all like to stay home.
Absolutely. Do our parents sing? Mama doesn't sing. I mean, she does. She sings in the choir at church.
Yeah.
But as far as if you were to like say, "Hey, Mom, go sing me a song,"
She won't.
She probably wouldn't. Now, Dad, he definitely can sing, and he has a good voice, but he likes to say that he can't. He can play guitar too, but he likes to pretend like he can't.
He wouldn't sing a song for you, but he sings songs to Ira all
Yeah.
the time. And Ira loves it. Ira likes to hear him sing more than he don't want to hear Mama sing. He wants to hear Papa sing. So...
Do me and Austin have plans to update the house and property, whether it be inside or outside? There's definitely things we would still like to do. We'd like to kind of clear some of the what did you say?
like undergrowth, underbrush.
Yeah, how'd you know what I was going to say?
I don't know.
We would like to clear some of that off the creek, and we'd like to paint the house someday, change some exterior doors. There's just random odds and ends that...
Like maybe exterior work.
Exterior, yeah. There's stuff we want to do eventually. And then, Katie, your truck's on the back burner, but what additional work do you want to accomplish in restoring the truck in the future?
I might want to do a touch more interior work, but for the most part, what I would like to do is body work. It's got a little bit of rust here and there, nothing major, but I would like to do body work and see about, not exactly sure about a paint job because they're very costly, and I don't think I'd want my truck to look showroom new because then I'd never want to drive it. So
That's true.
I did, however, the last time I did some major work was I was 7 months pregnant, and I wallowed all around that truck. I got up in the engine compartment and sat down in it. I was careful, and it all worked out, but I'm hoping to maybe pick back up on some of the interior work I was doing then, some body work, and we'll see.
This one says that I always hear the Pressley females talking about God and Christianity. Are the men, Matt and Austin, born again? Absolutely. As you might imagine. Definitely. We're all Christians. We all believe in God. Absolutely. Yep. So, for sure. This is a really interesting one. It's saying that we should do a day in the life, like, of a whole day. A lot of the day in the lives we do, they're just pieces put together. And we've done some long-form day in the life, like actually from start to finish in one single day. And we can leave those in the description. I think I did one when I was pregnant, but I've done one before I still lived here. I know you've done one.
I think I was pregnant too, maybe.
I think that's a really good video idea, and y'all can always comment video ideas that you have for us. Always feel free to do that.
And then seasonally.
Seasonally, that's a good idea.
Let's comment or mention like one for each season. That would be cool, because it kind of is a little different what you do in the winter versus the summer.
Definitely. Are we still staying, have we been out in public with the boys? Are we still staying at home? What does a normal day schedule with a newborn look like? We've taken him to church, and then we took him, of course, to his appointments, and then we took him one time to meet Austin's family out to eat. We're actually about to take him this weekend to Austin's parents' house, so that'll be like the first big trip that he's been on. But most of the time, we don't go anywhere. And as far as like what a schedule looks like for me and Woody, mostly is feeding, obviously, and diapering, but it's really nice since we're doing bottles now. Me and Austin will split the night, and so he will kind of stay up and I'll go to sleep, and then I'll get the second half, and then he gets up and goes to work. And then usually I just will, feed and diaper all day. I try to do laundry and dishes and cooking in between, video stuff in between while he sleeps. So that's kind of what it looks like for me.
With Ira, I've not taken him out in public much. I've taken him, like you said, to some appointments, and I've taken him to church. I did take him to my cousin Ben and Rachel's house one time, but for the most part, Ira, he doesn't do good with new people, and he doesn't do good with pretty much anybody but us. He always cries. He gets scared at church and cries, but he's just going to have to get used to it. But a normal day with him usually looks like, sometimes we sleep in. I get all the sleep I can get because I'm still not sleeping through the night. I did have some nights there where I was, and I thought, man, he's going to start sleeping through the night. But then we changed that. So once I get up and get going, I try to get breakfast. Sometimes I don't manage to get breakfast, and I just skip that and go to lunch. And it usually looks like me trying to entertain Ira all day because he's the baby who doesn't sleep.
Bless him.
So I will feed him, diaper him, try to put him to bed. He'll sleep for 15 minutes. We'll get up. We'll do the whole thing again. Any free time I have, I try to package orders, do video stuff, make stuff. Just any of the other normal daily activities that I need to do or I'm responsible for. I try to do it in between him sleeping. A lot of the times I do some baby wear and take him with me since he don't sleep. Pawn him off on mom or dad for a minute. I'm trying. It's kind of hard to just be one person raising this little boy, but...
Yeah. I know, yeah, definitely. Someone was asking how me and Austin met. We met online, believe it or not. That seems so strange now. That's like so unlike either one of us, but we actually met on an online dating site, believe it or not. And then we met each other in person, and
rest is history.
Rest is pretty much history.
As soon as we met, all of us met Austin, I was like, man, he's really polite and really nice, and I really like him, and we all talked about, man, we really like him, and seems just like yesterday, but we're so glad to have him.
It's crazy. We met in, I guess, 2018.
Yeah, I think so.
That's crazy. It don't seem like it's been that long ago.
No, he's such a nice guy. We love Uncle Austin.
I'm so blessed to have him. He's my everything. Someone was asking about sleep and adjusting. Some of these, we may sort of answer as we go, and there'll be duplicates. But if there's any different... like differentiation, is that the word I'm looking for?
Corey's just saying if there's a different twist on one of the questions, then we can target that part too. Yeah. Like, I know we just both did just talk about sleep, like how you adjusting. I'm getting more sleep now, of course, than I did. But there were a few nights where Ira would sleep 9 to 4, and I was like, poking him, are you alive? And
I know, yeah. Are you still there?
Right, are you still there? And then there's nights where he doesn't do that, and he wants to wake up and eat, and we just got to wake up and take care of that. Yeah. And it is kind of hard being a single mom doing it by yourself. My parents are so good and so loving. They told me over and over and over, wake us up, we'll take a turn, we'll help you. And I'm like, no, I'm not waking you up. This is my responsibility. And I also love Ira, and I'm breastfeeding, so I'm like, you can't do nothing for me, for one. But I'm I love Ira, and I'm more than happy to take care of him. So I definitely am sleeping more. I'm very grateful for that, because in the beginning, I was averaging about 2 hours a night, and it was broken up because Ira had a lot of issues. And one day I'll make a whole birth video and we'll talk about some stuff. But I'm so blessed now that he's sleeping. So happy about that, and happy that you have somebody to help take turns with you.
I know. It's great. It's amazing. I'll try to sleep. Usually I can sleep from like 9 to anywhere from 1, 2, or 3 sometimes. It's sleeping 9 to 3 with a newborn. I'm like the luckiest person in the world. That's pretty crazy. Killer.
I'd have died for that.
Most of the time, I know. Most of the time, it's not 9 to 3. Usually, it's 9 to 1, 9 to 2. But still, it doesn't matter. Oh my gosh, getting like several hours of uninterrupted sleep is just life changing, honestly. And then I'll pick up the feeds from there. And then Austin, he does in that first part of the night. But I can function. I can function like that really well. I'm like, I don't need any more than like 4 hours. Just give me 4 hours uninterrupted, and I'm good to go.
Well, and it's amazing. God can do that. He can allow you to function on little sleep, little food, little water, little time. He definitely helps you out.
It's crazy.
And if you would have been, it's so funny, only getting like 4 hours of sleep straight and that's it, you're like, man, that's killer. That's awesome. And then if you would have got that sleep before, you'd have woke up and said, man, I hurt so bad. I don't feel good.
Absolutely.
But now, after having a baby, you're like, woo, 4 straight hours, son. I can take on the world.
And
that's all I need.
It's amazing how you can just fall asleep. I mean, I can just sleep at any point during the day. I mean, I don't get to most of the time.
Like that.
But I mean, I can just be sitting up and just.
I'd do that. I'd fall asleep on the floor.
Just be gone. Yeah.
It was sad.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
This is a good question. It says, my question to you ladies is, given our current times in this country, are you worried for your children's future? How do you stay uplifted, or how do you stay away from news as much as possible? Is that the deer things going off?
Yeah, that is. We've got those little sound boxes that are supposed to scare the deer, motion detected, so it sounds like dogs and like guns going off to try to spook them out.
Pretty menacing.
It is menacing. Anything will set it off, the wind will, but it actually works. So
yeah, it does seem to be working. That's a good question.
That is.
Before I got pregnant, before I got married, I used to say that I was worried about having kids because of the state of the world. And then after I got married, and then I just got to a place where I thought, God's got it, and I will try to get pregnant, and if it works, then I will believe that is His will and His favor, and and sorry.
And he'll provide. I mean,
Yes, that's
you'll
what
be
I'm
able to
trying
have
to
the
say.
kiddo. It'll be okay.
Yeah,
He'll
and
make a
so-
way for you. I mean,
Absolutely. And so what I like to,
Absolutely.
yeah, sorry, I just totally held your water captive, and I'm sorry for that. What I try to tell myself is it doesn't matter who's in the White House, because I know who's in my house, which is God. And that's the biggest thing for me, the biggest comfort when I think, well, the world seems shaky, and what about this, and what about that, and what if this happens? And then I think, no, it don't matter, because I got, God's in the house. That's the most important thing.
dude, that's killer. I hadn't heard that.
Well, I didn't come up with that, actually. I seen it somewhere else. But I repeat that to myself. It don't matter who's in the White House, whether that's, local, state, federal, it don't matter, because God's in the house, and we would be amiss to solely focus on the election and what about this and what about that, and then just forget about God. It don't matter. If you go back and read in 1st and 2nd Kings, oh my gosh, the kings, there was only maybe 2 good kings, and they were terrible.
Oh, they were horrible.
And we think it's bad today. It is, but back then there was kings that were killing children, that were killing pregnant ladies. It was just awful.
Oh yeah,
So,
I mean, there's been
God was
bad
with
from the
them then.
beginning, and I would follow that up with no matter what your politics are crooked. The very word politics is crooked, so it don't matter left, right, up, down. Don't matter. It's all crooked.
No,
it's just a great big bureaucracy.
And again, if you place all your hope in whoever's in the White House,
well,
and
people
that's
are
easy.
fallible.
Yeah, and that's easy.
That's the problem.
Exactly, that's easy to do. But I just try to remind myself, it don't matter, because God's in my house.
That's would be my answer to that too. And as far as thinking about raising Ira, I'm going to homeschool him. He's not going to public school. I love my baby, and I want my baby here with me. I want my baby with me all the time. And so navigating some of the world and the condition that the world is in today looks more like that. Keeping my baby close to home, teaching him all the things he needs to know to be successful. And the foremost is taking him to church and teaching him what you just said. We're worried about what God's doing. We're with Him. We're not.
Absolutely.
We're not looking anywhere else.
We would both like to homeschool if we can. I mean, that's the plan. If not, find some kind of private Christian school.
Mm-hmm.
But
I'll homeschool. Send Woody up here.
yeah,
I'll teach him what he
that's
needs to know.
And that's the other thing, though, is with us being this close, and then our uncle was, in the school
Retired.
system for 30 years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he'd be
So
a great resource.
I definitely think we could tag team. Have any of the skills you learned in college helped with any other aspects of your life?
Yes.
Is that
and
bad that my first reaction to that was to laugh?
You're
Not
like,
because of your question,
heck
but
no.
because of our school experience.
Yes and no. Real briefly, I would say that yes, everything that I learned about the world, about people, about interaction,
Absolutely.
that societal aspect, oh yeah, that taught me a lot of
Sure.
things about myself and about the world and how to interact with it. There was very few things, physical, practical applications of education that I learned things I learned how to do, computer programs that I learned how to work, different resources that I learned about that I would not have learned about.
Right.
Some marketing stuff that I learned that actually followed me into some of the other jobs that I took before I started working for myself. And some of the marketing stuff helped me work for myself. But for the most part, it was kind of that rough and tumble experience that I had, that kind of more of a life experience thing that helped me later on in other areas of my life. Because as far as the
Educational.
I'm not saying I don't value my education,
but we don't have the kind of jobs like where we're really putting that. It's not like a law degree where you use what you learned every single day.
I work for myself.
Yeah, it's not like that. I would say the same thing, more life experience. I feel like I learned a lot about writing. I'm not the best writer, but I just
did learn
remember
about
that
that.
we had a teacher who was like, just get to the point. We don't need a lot of fluff. You just need to try to really get to the point, and that just was helpful.
That has helped me some doing other stuff.
This is a question. I've actually got some emails about this, and I'm actually working on an email right now of compiling all of this. And people have asked if we would do videos, but certain baby items that we would recommend. There's definitely stuff that we would recommend that we both use, and I've been lucky since Katie's done everything first, and she's able to say, hey, here's what really works. But we need to figure out a way to share that. I mean, I suppose we could make a whole video about it, but one thing that comes off the top of my head is the baby monitors that we have, and I'll leave the link in the description. It just come from Amazon. We love those.
Yep.
We use those a ton. The baby monitors, what else? We do the diaper changes just on the bed, honestly, and so we have like a
diaper
water
mat.
like a diaper mat. That's good.
The baby monitor is great because it's not on Wi-Fi, so it couldn't be hacked. It's just chargeable. You take it with you anywhere you go. You don't need service to use it. And it has 2 different types of mounts, so you can literally clip it to something. If you have a crib, there's like a big long arm kind of thing that you can wrap around the crib. That's really great. I would say, you talk about babies, you got to talk about boogers, because babies get boogers.
Yeah.
I would say the Frida booger sucker thing. That's all I know to call it.
Yeah, we can leave that in
Has been a lifesaver for
That
congested babies who are upset and can't breathe.
We liked the Mama Bear diapers.
Yeah, that's an Amazon.
We've used different ones, but
they're very well priced, I think, and they're a middle ground for your people who want a little bit more of a health conscious, like natural diaper. There's probably a bunch of stuff I can compile. I will say gripe water is a lifesaver for babies with belly aches. And
gas
then
drops.
Mommy Bliss, the people who make gripe water, have another blend for constipation if you have a baby that's constipated, and it also works well. So if you've got gassy, constipated babies out there, you need to go Amazon or Walmart, whatever. Look for Mommy Bliss. Is a company that makes some good stuff, just little herbal stuff. It's great for them. So gotta love that. And then Little Remedies, they make little saline drops for the nose. They make the gas drops. So
I was actually just adding some gas drops to my Walmart pickup.
There you go.
I just had to do it while I thought of it.
But
okay.
I'm sure there's other stuff, so maybe one day we'll make a video, because I'm like all about wanting to help other
I know,
moms.
'cause
Here, let
we
me tell
have
you what works, so you don't have to go
what
through it
doesn't
all.
work, all the stuff we're going through that doesn't work, to find what actually works. What was our favorite game to play when we were kids? We liked anything, basically like make-believe. We would just run around and
Pretend house, restaurant.
yeah.
We loved to pretend like we worked at
Yeah, we
restaurants and made food, and we liked to pretend, we built little teepees and liked to pretend we had our own house to live in and that we would all play house. We liked that.
I'm interested in knowing more about Miss Cindy. She seemed like a fascinating woman, and I'd like to know more about her. And what Christmas traditions do you most look forward to sharing with your little boys? Wow. To try to sum up Miss Cindy, I could do a whole video. I actually did a video about kind of advice that she gave me, and I'll leave a link in the description. She was a beautiful woman. She was very intelligent, very sensitive.
She was very complicated.
Very complicated, very inquisitive. Taught us a lot.
She was very independent.
Very independent, and she, her and our dad's dad got divorced when he was young, and then she actually remarried, and her husband passed away. And after that, for the most part, she had I think a serious boyfriend, but for the most part she just lived alone. So for all of our adult life, our child life too, I mean just our whole life, lived alone for the most part. And
Bill was really little. Well,
we were
really little when Bill
passed
died,
away.
So I don't remember him.
No,
We were like
I don't
Ira's
remember
age.
him. And then she lived in Asheville, in Black Mountain, outside of Asheville, for years and years. And then she moved here maybe in 2015, because she was here before Pap died, and he died in 2016.
Yeah, so probably like right as we graduated high school.
So maybe right as we graduated high school. And she lived here until she passed away.
She was a very special lady, and she was a lady that she didn't belong, not because it was her fault, but she just was a tender soul in a harsh world, and she had a lot of problems because of that. But she did really well for herself. She overcome her problems. She did it all by herself, really. She's come up rough. She didn't have a
She didn't have the support she needed.
No, she didn't, or deserved.
She didn't have the support she deserved.
No.
She didn't have a great home life,
No, she did
unfortunately.
not. We were all she had. We were good to her, of course.
Absolutely.
But she was great. As far as Christmas traditions, something I'm going to make sure to do is put our candle in our muffin and sing Happy Birthday to Jesus, because I want Ira to know from the very beginning.
Jesus is a reason for the season.
That's it. Yeah, and there might be some other
huge.
little things like
reading the Christmas out of the Bible. Not Christmas. God, Lou.
This is horrible. We suck
This
so
is
bad.
awful.
And we're not editing this out
No,
either.
I'm not.
We want to read the passage in the Bible about
the
Jesus'
scripture
birth
of
for
Jesus'
Christmas.
birth.
We want to make sure that they understand that this is why we're doing this. This is what this is about. It's about family. It's about family getting together to celebrate the birth of Christ, because that's what saved us all.
Yes, that's the most important.
And then some other cutie little things, like I might want to put something special in his stocking, or
Yeah.
I'm hoping when the boys get big enough and they wouldn't put it in their mouth and they would understand, we could hide the monkey with them.
Oh,
Put the monkey in a
gosh, that would be
stocking, or
awesome. I never thought of that.
Just fun little things like that.
Definitely
and
getting
get them to be involved.
Yeah,
like the
and
deer hand that we
that's what I was.
cook, and
What I was gonna say. That's perfect.
but it'll be a little bit before they're old enough to be able to understand or appreciate some of those things. So for now, we'll just give them some wrapping paper to chew on, and they'll be good.
Yeah. Favorite part about living in Appalachia, and though we're from North Carolina, any other state you really like? I love South Georgia, and I've always loved South Georgia. Where, of course, I love the mountains really most, but I like where it's flat and the dirt roads, and you can see for miles, and all the pine trees. I've always loved South Georgia.
It is really interesting.
If I had to live, honestly, somewhere else, I would probably pick the smallest town in South Georgia that I could find. I've always liked that.
That is a really cool, and it's a stark contrast to this.
Absolutely. But favorite part about living in Appalachia is just the people. I mean, everyone is nice, and everyone knows each other, and we live in a somewhat small town, although it's bigger, getting so big so fast it seems. And just the landscape. I'm trying to figure out what baby that is.
That's Ira, I'm sure, cranking it.
And I just love the landscape, and everything is green, and there's woods, there's green space. I mean, you can go 2 hours in any direction from here, and it's just getting so developed, and concrete jungle.
I'm with you. That's my favorite thing about Appalachia is the physical landscape, the tradition, the people, the history, the culture. I always feel at home no matter where I'm at in Appalachia. And as far as if I had to live somewhere else, if I could not live here, I really love South Georgia too, so I might pick there, but I might throw a curveball out and pick like Oregon or something, because it's just so beautiful there.
Yeah, you've been way more places than I have.
But I would miss more of the deciduous trees, so
Yeah,
I have
that
to
is
consider
true.
that.
How many hours a week do you spend on filming, and do you ever feel like you've run out of ideas? I've never actually tried to time how many hours we spend. I think that'd be cool if I did. I never have. And
Filming and editing all together, probably cumulatively maybe like 10 hours or so.
probably more than that. I mean, it depends. So it depends.
Well, right now, probably.
Right now, sure, but it depends on the kind of videos. I mean, I would say though, regardless, it's at least 20 hours.
When I say 10,
You mean like of,
actual filming or editing?
well, both.
Okay, maybe I'm like 20 hours for both. I don't know.
I don't know, because you got to count like the time of coming up with the idea and brainstorming and scripting and
Well, and at 10, if you put it all, if you took
you like
condensed it, but if you're talking about just like in the midst of doing other stuff, edit real quick, go do something else, come back, oh yeah, then it's a long time.
Yeah, that's true.
So I don't know. I mean, that's...
Do we ever feel like we've run out of ideas? Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I used to feel like that way more in the past than I do now. I feel like I have more ideas now, but definitely sometimes I think, what am I going to film next? And then an idea always appears, but...
I say really good question. My love language is rocks. If you love me, you'll buy me rocks and send them to me.
Oh, that's so sweet. I don't know what my love language is. I guess probably acts of service is what I would have to say. Like if someone were to be like, hey, I'll come do your dishes, I'd be like...
That's true, me too. One time Grandma was like, I give Ira a bath, and I was like, oh my
Like, that's
goodness,
the best
thank
thing
you. That's one
ever.
less thing I've got to do, and sometimes bath time's hard because he's crazy in the bathtub. Definitely when someone goes out of their way to do something for me, it makes me feel so appreciated. And I do love rocks when people give me rocks, even if it's just something Dad picked up on the ground down at the garden.
know.
I think it's
That's
sweet because he
sweet.
thought of me.
Absolutely. Our friend Valentine, and they have a channel as well that we're going to link in the description, wants to know about specific songs we've sang to our babies. I've sang the I'd Rather Have Jesus song to them a lot. I like that song. I've sang that to Woody a lot.
I've sang, what's the song? I cannot find the way without thee.
Oh yeah, I can't find the way alone, or cannot find the way alone.
Yeah, I've sang that to Ira, and I've sang What a Friend We Have in Jesus quite a bit to him. He likes that.
That's a good one. Our friend Jimmy Malone, he wants to know how tall we are, who's the tallest. I think I'm taller than Katie by like that much.
I think I'm like 5'3", probably.
And I'm 5'4", maybe.
Yeah, or maybe I'm like 5'3.5", and you're
Right.
5'4.5", something like that.
Something like that.
We're not, I would say we're perfectly average. I'm not exactly short, but there's nothing about me that's tall. I'd say we're just pretty average
Yeah.
middle ground.
I wouldn't say we're incredibly short, but we're not very tall. We're about average.
Did y'all tell when each other went into labor?
Yeah, definitely. Well, Katie was induced, and so
I was induced, so
I
it
was
was
there.
pretty easy. I just picked up the phone and said, "Meet me at the hospital
Yeah.
at 7:30. We're having a baby."
And then Katie was there for me. You visited with me probably when I was in early labor at that point, and then you didn't get to the hospital though until maybe 8 p.m. or so.
Yeah, and Woody was born that morning, the next morning. So
we were definitely
we were there
with each other.
But as far as like knowing, I mean, I just told Corey's like, I've been having contractions for a while. I'm like, that's okay, so that's labor. And then, like I said, for me, Corey was there, so it's like,
Yeah.
it was a timeable, clockable kind of thing.
And the other part of that question is, can we do the telepathy game with each other? Yeah, honestly, we can.
Yeah. I know what Corey's thinking. She
Yeah.
knows what I'm thinking. All I gotta do is give her a look, and we can just, across a crowded room, talk all day
Yeah.
long if that's what we want to do.
Which is sweet, and that's just more a product of, I mean, just growing up together and having like all the same experiences that close. And we're just really close. I mean, I've heard of other twins who are not close, which is really sad. But we're incredibly close, and we always have been.
I'm noticing this spit up stain on my shirt. No,
Oh, I'm sure I got it somewhere. I got dog hair. I think
that is spit up right there.
Oh, okay.
Cool.
Yeah, that is funny.
Wait, so both sisters have newborns. Well, Woody's more of a newborn. Ira was born in March.
Yeah.
So I don't know if
Woody
you
was
consider
born
that a
in
newborn.
June.
But
This is an interesting question. What are your best attributes you hope your son inherits and acquires? What are your least favorite attributes? While you do that, I'm going to see how long we've been filming.
scary, it's way too long.
Oh, we've been filming 36 minutes. We'll keep going.
Oh my lord.
That's not too bad.
I don't know, that's such a funny thing because sometimes I'm like, well, I don't really have any good attributes. I'm really hoping
that's
that
so
my
not
child
true.
ends up better than me.
That is so not true. Don't say that.
I will say something, and like I said, one day I'll make a video. I work on it in my mind sometimes. I'll make one day. Ira is a very gritty, very aggressive, and very determined baby, and he's had a lot of little issues to overcome. And one day, like I said, I'll make that whole video. So I think I'm a pretty determined person. When there's something that I want, and it's usually a personal goal, something that I want to accomplish, I want to play a fiddle tune, I want to, like my truck, I wanted one of those trucks, I wanted to work on it, you know, when there's something, a personal thing that I have to accomplish, I'm a usually pretty determined person, pretty driven, and go after that goal, whether it be a personal, private goal, whatever it is. So it's determination of just keep going, don't ever quit until you reach that goal that you have. And Ira definitely has a very determined, very tenacious little personality. And I really love that about him. So that's
awesome.
something I'd want to foster. Like, hey, son, you can always do that.
Oh,
Shoot for the
yeah,
stars.
absolutely.
Work hard. Keep going at it. Don't give
Absolutely.
up, you know. And
That's part of what makes him so special is he's just so spunky and independent.
oh,
and
he's
I love it so much.
His personality is just massive for his age.
is.
It's
It's
just,
awesome.
I mean, y'all don't know what I've been through. It's just me in baby form, and it's been, you know, I've had to come to reckon with myself and be like, now look, you're gonna have to survive this, and one day we'll talk about it. But that's I like that about him, and it's already there, and I hope that he continues to foster that, and I'll help and grow that, and I'll have to steer and guide it, or I'll have a little lawbreaker on my hands probably. So
I don't know what attributes I hope to pass on. I don't know. I'm not the most patient person, but I would say I'm
a lot more patient than I am.
I would say I'm a little bit patient with certain things, so that's one thing I would want to pass on, but like maybe teach him to be even more patient than I am.
Well, Woody is such a calm and gentle,
he has a very calm demeanor.
easy
yeah.
baby. I mean,
He gets that from his daddy.
when I say easy, I'm not trying to be like,
No,
you
he
have an easy
is.
baby. I
He
mean,
is, yeah.
an easy, like relaxed
Yeah.
gait about him, and you have that too, definitely more than me. So, I think that that's really important, and I think that that'll serve him well because he'll be the one telling Ira, let's not break the law, put the match down.
I know.
Let's not do this. He'll be the voice of reason, like you're the voice of reason for me because I just feel
But
so
then
strongly about things.
And then you help though, like encourage me and help me to get out of my comfort zone. And as far as attributes I don't want to pass on, I worry, and I really try not to. I'm way better than I used to be, but I don't want to pass on that.
I'm a worrier and I'm a perfectionist and I'm
Yes.
compulsive about getting things just how I
Me
want,
too.
and I hope Ira's not like
Yeah,
that
we don't
because
want to
it's
pass that
needless
on.
and it'll just run him in circles.
Perfectionism just breeds discontentment, and I don't want to pass that along.
Totally unnecessary. But
Freckles, have you both always been blessed with them, or just since the babies I've only recently noticed?
Corey ended up with more when she was pregnant,
You
for
think so,
sure.
I guess?
Definitely. Do I have any?
Oh yeah. both of us have always had freckles here, but I feel like since we got pregnant,
Maybe. You definitely did. I remember that's one thing I noticed about you when you got pregnant. I'm like, if you got like,
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and just right in here, just a little dust and the freckles.
That's
And the older
interesting.
you get, if you hang out in the sun more, that
Yeah,
happens
that's
too.
true.
But so I guess the answer is we've always had them, but maybe more since we had babies.
Someone asked if I was still breastfeeding Woody. I am not. I really wanted to breastfeed, and straight out the gate at the hospital, he had a great latch. Everything was going great. And then when we went back to one of his appointments, he hadn't lost weight, but he hadn't really gained any. And so the doctor said, well, could you pump and do formula? I said, well, yeah, I could definitely do that. And I did. And it just seemed like my supply would never be where it was supposed to. And then Katie actually was the one, she helped me so much. She helped me just crazy amount, not just with breastfeeding, but with other stuff. And then she was like, well, Corey, you have to ask yourself, are you ever really going to relatch? And then the more I thought about it, I thought, no, I'm not. I wanted to, but I thought, if I even questioned my supply, and I just knew that I could not mentally relatch, knowing that he might not gain enough weight, I just thought, I can't go back to that and know that he might not be gaining enough weight just because I want to do this. I just thought, no, I just can't do that. And I just felt like I shouldn't. And so I stopped, and now we're just bottle feeding, and he is gaining weight
Oh
like
my
crazy.
gosh, he's healthy.
Like crazy.
That's the other thing I told Corey. I was like, wow, my situation is so different than yours. If you've got somebody that's going to help you and split that time,
wow.
oh my gosh, yeah. Because it served your family, because it helped you and it helped Austin both get more rest.
Absolutely.
Ira, I'm still breastfeeding Ira. He's a tricky little baby. That's
You've been
just
through the ringer with all
yeah. I just have to. He doesn't do dairy at all, and most formula is dairy based. And I did some goat milk formula with him, and I don't even really think that he liked that. So the best thing I can do for him, and I want to anyway, is keep nursing him and just eat really clean. And I have a very strict diet that I adhere to. I will not eat milk, anything that's been around milk, any kind of dairy, no contamination whatsoever. So basically, I'm starving.
I know.
But
I worry about you.
we're working it out. I've lost a little bit of weight. You probably can't tell, but I actually have. So anyway, will you switch to making goat milk soap? Isn't that funny? It may be because I mentioned in a video that I got that from Soulless Farmstead, that goat milk soap for Ira because of his sensitive skin. And it's working really great. Between that, changing my diet, and the goat milk lotion, his eczema is almost gone.
And we'll put the link in the description.
Yeah, they're
for
great.
them as
There's
well.
two different people, one in Alabama and one in Tennessee, that I've gotten goat milk products from and been so impressed with both of them.
I would love to make goat milk soap. I actually helped a guy make goat milk soap a long time ago.
Fantastic.
But I've never made milk soap. What are we currently reading or studying in Scripture? I went back to Genesis, and that's
I
been
was
one.
actually there not that long ago. Mm-hmm.
That's one thing that's been hard for me, to be honest, because before I had him, I just felt like I had unlimited time when I could just kind of read whenever I wanted, and now I can't. And that's been hard because some days I might just do a devotional app on my phone and that's it. And I'm like, oh. But I just feel like I'm having
better than nothing.
Yeah, and I feel like God's kind of teaching me I feel like he's really trying to teach me that it's not dependent on my work. You know what I'm saying? It's not about work. So even though maybe in the past I could read more and I can't now, I'm having to learn to be okay with that and still keep my awareness of his presence even if I don't get to read as much. I don't know if that makes sense, but
I read, it seems like in the Gospels a lot, just because it's I hate to say it's quick and easy, but there's always something there for me to get, and I'm just like you. I don't have.
And even if you can just get one verse
Anytime.
and you can think about it several times a day, I mean, that's,
That's right. I did see one question. I do live at home, and I plan to continue to live at home. I need the support, and I'm just going to be honest, I'm scared. I'm scared of everything. Actually, if I had a house like right next to our house, and then I was in there at night by myself, I'd be scared. I'm like that. I'm just a scaredy cat.
You get used to it.
I'm sure I would, but I love being at home.
But financially, too.
Yeah,
How would one person with a child financially?
Well, I mean, I could probably.
Not today.
No, not today. I could probably, there's no way I could buy anything. I could probably rent something. I'm sure I could and swing it, but it would be hard and it would be stressful. I love my family. I love my parents. I love the support. And I don't want to be by myself.
No.
I'm not lying. I don't like it.
And what's the point? If I hadn't got married, I'd still be here. Austin lived with his parents until he got married. I mean, well, who else would you rather be with? What's the
I'm not
point?
living by myself. Plus, I think that for Ira, that's the best decision I could possibly make for him.
He needs the family.
Family support.
Absolutely. But financially, with the inflation, I mean, I'm serious.
I could rent somewhere, but there's no way I could.
don't know that you could, to be honest.
I think it's
ridiculous.
I think
we
I
looked
could.
at places to rent when Austin was first moving here, but before we bought our first house, and it was ridiculous.
I think I could, but I think it would be a bad, foolish decision, and I would always be at just that level of, am I gonna, can I do all of this by myself? But I will say, because I don't want to hurt nobody's feelings, if that's something you want to do, because I see in the other part of this comment, go for it. Do whatever you want.
Absolutely.
If that makes you happy, or that's the best decision that you need to make for you and your child,
no doubt,
please do it. But for me, unless some really nice person comes into my life and says, hey, I love you, let's date and get married, I'm gonna be here.
He will.
Forever. And I don't even mind. I want to be here, I'm probably one of the only people that you'll ever meet that's like, oh, I love my family. I love my parents. Even if my situation looked different, I'd still be like, can I just live here? When I was really young, I said, when y'all die, I'm just gonna live here till y'all die, and I'll just take over and pretend like we're all still here.
Yeah.
And I mean it. And there's a really good chance that I'm gonna be living in this house my entire life, and Ira's gonna live here too. And it's good for all of us.
Absolutely.
So I'm happy, content with it.
This is an interesting question. Do we have any plans for a membership on YouTube or a Patreon? And it's sweet. They say, I'd love to support y'all more, but sometimes have a tough time keeping up with the videos. A lot of people have said Patreon to us in the past. To be honest, we've never really considered making a Patreon. I don't really consider making one now. I'm not saying that we would never do it, but I don't really want to be honest.
I'm like, I can't do it. For one, I
no,
can't do
for
one more
one
thing.
we can't. But for two, y'all, just by watching the videos, I mean, y'all help us so much, and we have such a nice... I don't want to be greedy. That's the biggest thing. And now listen. We're not trying to say anyone who has a Patreon is greedy. That is not what I'm saying. Absolutely not.
Do whatever you want.
We just don't feel led to do that per se. And if anything, we would maybe do a YouTube membership. And I know some of those memberships are like 99 cents a month, where someone can support you, but it's really low key. And if we ever did anything, I would see us doing something like that, because I just don't feel super right about asking y'all to do some kind of membership when y'all help us so much. You just watching the videos, and the best thing about this YouTube is the community.
But we're all together.
And we're all together.
I want us to all do the same thing together. Like, I feel bad if I got this stuff I'm doing, over here and then over here. For one, I can't keep up with it. But I like it that we're all on the same playing field together.
And I don't want to do real exclusive stuff. And I'm not saying that in the future we wouldn't do some kind of membership, but at least for right now.
I'm barely making it, y'all.
Yeah, I know.
That's about all I can sustain. I can't do a whole lot more than that.
But that's really sweet. We thank you for that. But and so much of the stuff too, especially the devotional stuff, man, I want that to be for anyone and everyone. I don't want that to end up being exclusive at all. So, and not that anything, if we ever did a membership, obviously we'd still do stuff regularly on YouTube, but anyways. We should do a couple more and get off here. You want to do like 2 more?
Yeah, I'm thinking about, I don't know if I've heard Ira. Something, I'm always worried when I'm apart from him, even though he's literally just right there. I'm always like, what's he doing?
I know.
What's he doing? Do I hear him? Do I sense him? What's he doing?
I'm the same way.
Always worried. Do I need to feed him? What's he doing?
I'll pick out a question and then you pick out one.
Okay.
And we'll do 2 more. How is your body feeling after birth? Is it healing how you thought? That's an interesting question.
For me, I mean... Yeah, because I didn't have a sunny side up baby, and my actual birth experience, like when it really come time to have the baby, it was pretty fast, short, and sweet for me. So after 2 weeks, most of my soreness was gone. I felt, pretty normal. I mean, I still had, a little bit of healing to do, but then by 5 or 6 weeks, I was like, nothing's even happened. And then, of course, by now, I'm like, I feel completely back to normal. Now my physical skeleton is all kinds of jacked up. I've been doing some massage therapy to try to put it back. That's pretty common after carrying a baby to get out of alignment and be sore and da-da-da-da. But I do feel like I healed like I thought I would. I think in one way I was a whole lot more sore than what I expected to be. I was like, I didn't think you'd be this sore. But I know I was nowhere near as sore as Corey or a lot of people.
Don't know that.
But I was definitely, my tailbone hurt me really badly, and I knew it would.
I'm sure mine didn't.
I have bad tailbone problems anyway.
I don't have.
That's the biggest thing. I couldn't sit down, man. But I feel pretty healed up. I feel like I don't get as much exercise as I would like, and I'm stiff. I've never been stiff. I've always been able to touch my toes, and now I'm like, what?
Absolutely. I would say that for sure, that I feel stiff. And, you know, for the first, like, 2 weeks, it was just, am I really ever going to get to where I can sit down and walk again?
Yeah, Corey was just, but I was there, so I know Corey went through a little bit more than what I did. That was quite a bit more, really.
Tough go of it. I definitely feel oh my gosh, I mean, it's so much better, but I guess I'm impatient with myself because I still catch myself. Like, if I sit for a while and get up, it just hurts, and I'm stiff, and my bones hurt, and then I think, well, I should be better by now. And then I think, well, it's not even been 6 weeks yet, so I guess not. But you know, your body really changes, and that's been interesting. It's a lot different than it was, and nothing negative really, just different. But I'm just glad that I feel a lot better than I did. So I'm sure as I go on, I'll, you know, feel even better.
All right, last but not least, what do you think Ira and Woody's first words will be? At what age do you think they'll take their first baby steps? I think I mean, at this age, babies can copy sounds, but so I don't know if you'd actually call it a word, but if you say hey, like, hey, Ira can do it back. It doesn't always sound the same, and sometimes it sounds more like hey than other times, so I'm going to go with, that's probably going to be his first word is hey. Hey. As far as when he'll take his first steps, sometimes I think he's going to be one of those babies that walks for 9 or 10 months.
Oh, I guarantee it.
Because of his ability, it's kind of scary what he's capable to do to be his age, so I don't know about Woody. I mean, Woody's still pretty little as far as, like, interaction.
I hope his first word will be mama. But
well, me too. I hope Ira's first real word will be, like,
who knows?
Mama, or it'll probably be Matt Dillon, because that little boy watches Gunsmoke.
Marshall, it'll be Festus.
He loves, Festus is his favorite. Anytime Festus or Chester comes on the screen, he's just like, he loves him. He likes Doc too, but he loves Festus.
Doc is like my favorite on Gunsmoke. I don't know about Woody, about him walking. I guess if he ends up crawling as fast as Ira is about to, then maybe I would think he would walk before a year old. But I would say that Woody's strong. He can really hold his head up.
Sling himself around.
He can really sling himself around. He's hard to burp. Really hard.
Ira was just like that.
So that's what makes me think maybe he will.
Gosh, Ira,
that way.
He's mad. He cries because he's frustrated that he can't. Yeah, he wants to go.
Developmentally, he's ready, but physically he can, and I think that makes him angry.
Oh, I know. It makes him mad. It does, and I'm like, son,
it's funny.
You're going to just have to slow your roll. You just ain't there yet, you know? You just don't know how to do that yet.
Not yet, but he will.
Anyway, speaking of him, I'm like,
yeah, we gotta go.
I gotta go. But this is
awesome.
I feel like this is just like the live, and it makes me feel so grateful and so thankful and so blessed that you sweet people want to ask me questions. I'm like, I'm just some random butthead that lives in the state of North Carolina. I'm not interested. There's nothing special about me. But it makes me feel so good when people want to ask questions and want to know about my life and what I'm doing, and it just makes me feel really good. So thank you.
This is just the best thing. I know I've said it, but it's just the best thing about YouTube for us as a community. And we don't get every comment answered like we'd like to, but we just love visiting and corresponding with y'all. And it's just been such a massive blessing to us. And so we thank you for submitting these questions. And we'll try to be in the comments and try to answer the ones that we weren't able to answer on this video. And definitely look out for the next video. I guess we'll go see what the babies are up to.
Yep, and until the next one, which will be tomorrow.
It'll be tomorrow, yeah.
And see you in 24 hours. God bless you. God keep you.
See you on the next one.
See you tomorrow. Pacific Standard Noon, Eastern Standard Mountain Time.
Bye.
I can't get
Speaking
up that
of
fast.
Steve. Oh.